In a short 2 years, the Tissot PRX has become a staple in the sub $1,000 watch category, with the collection now covering different case sizes, a chronograph option, and a variety of different dial colors across to the conventional sizes of 35mm and 40mm. And with many of these no-brainer releases being taken care of, the question to follow was, where do we go from here? Well, a PRX Digital? That was not on my watch release bingo card, but now it is finally here, and let's talk about this surprising new release. Now, for those with any knowledge of the PRX, understand its retro inspiration from decades prior, specifically mirroring the case of a late 1970s C-Star model under the PRX classification, an acronym representing precise, robust, and the X referring to 10 ATM water resistance. The 1970s were a tumultuous time for watchmaking given the changing landscape brought forth by quartz oscillating timekeeping, burgeoning from Japan following the release of the Seiko Astron in 1969. Quickly arising alongside this was the adoption of digital timekeeping that departed greatly from the classic analog display that dominated for years. In 1972, the Hamilton Watch Company unveiled the Pulsar, the first mass-produced digital wristwatch, which notably at the time was positioned as a true luxury purchase, being priced at $2,100 at the time of its release, which amounts to over $12,000 today. With the marking of this new frontier, other brands were quick to follow, including Tissot, who in that same year developed a prototype digital watch that was the first of many great digital releases in the years to come from the brand. In 1976, they made their mark on the industry with the release of their Stratos, a watch designed by the automotive designer Bertoni, showcasing features we have come to know and love from watches of the type, along with an accuracy standard that would be even exceptional by today's standards of plus or minus 5 seconds per month. Continuing towards the 80s and 90s, Tissot continued the launch of new models like the Two-Timer in 1986, the Viatech in the 1990s, and then the T-Touch in 1999. With the rise of wearable tech such as the Apple Watch in years to follow, digital timekeeping has undergone quite a change in its fanfare, now representing a retro and vintage return of nostalgia while offering added utility in the process, which brings us to the new PRX Digital. Now, the watch has yet to hit store shelves, so if you are interested in this watch, head to our site, be sure to sign up to get notified when it becomes available at the variety of different case sizes that it's at, as well as case materials. So to offer a sense of the new collection, we have a total of 6 references across 2 familiar case sizes of 35mm and 40mm, with 4 coming in stainless steel and 2 coming in gold tone PVD. To begin, let's discuss the biggest point of novelty when it comes to these watches and discuss that digital display and features. The Swiss-made caliber on the inside is known as the DGT 2040, and it comes equipped with a 4-year power reserve when in standard day-to-day use, while offering a handful of useful and sporty features. Through the use of a 3-pusher system at the conventional location of a 10, 2, and 4 o'clock position, the PRX Digital can cycle through a variety of different displays in either a 12 or 24-hour timing format while displaying the day below, a second time zone feature, a stopwatch, a countdown timer, an alarm, and then a full date display as well. An added bit of nostalgic fun comes when you press the 10 o'clock pusher to activate the strong backlight, illuminating the rectangular display. Just to give an abbreviated run through the settings, I'm not going to go through everything here. The 10 o'clock pusher will enable the user to cycle through the different features. From there, the 2 and 4 o'clock pushers can be used in tandem to adjust several of those menu features, with the 2 o'clock serving as your stop and start like a chronograph in that stopwatch feature, and then can be held in other modes such as time to have the numbers flash to indicate that you can adjust accordingly. The 4 o'clock, when not used for adjusting time, can be used in the stopwatch function as a reset, and the feedback beep of navigating the menu can be turned off at any time by pressing and holding both the 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock pushers simultaneously. The other obvious change from the previous PRX models is this new dial combination where Tissot has opted to include upgraded materials compared to the norm in this range of digital timekeeping, a nice counterpoint to full metal bracelet watches produced from brands like Casio, who will exceed this price being offered here that we're seeing for starting prices at $375. The crystal being supplied is a flat sapphire crystal with a facet at its circumference, while most other digital offerings offer a LCD screen, usually protected by an acrylic crystal atop, leaving it prone to scratches as well as further permanent damage. This sapphire crystal provides excellent protection and an elevated feel to the digital display overall. Set beneath the crystal is the rectangular digital display cut into and surrounded by either a reflective glass in gold or silver or a deep glossy black surface. This small variation gives a bit of a variety for buyers. However, in turn, the reflective surface creates a mirroring effect that could be unsettling for some, seeing your face each time you look down, checking the time. And in addition, with these backdrops with the sapphire crystal, you might be more susceptible to smudging compared to some other digital offerings. Text is kept down to a minimum with the Tissot name and founding year printed in the traditional 12 o'clock location, while the PRX name sits below the rectangular cutout display at 6. From there, the PRX Digital continues in true Tissot PRX form with similar dimensions and excellent finishing. Now, this new case offers 100 meters of water resistance and wears almost identically to the Powermatic versions, with the only optical change being the pushers on the side of the case that are not felt during wear. The same theme continues as we look towards the scaled down case option of 35 millimeters, generally mirroring the case of the automatics. Playing no small part in comfort of the watch is the bracelet, which given the integrated design is crucial in the overall successful execution and delivers in an area that is often an afterthought for watches of this ilk. With excellent finishing that feels beyond its price point, the bracelet lays flat against the wrist with excellent articulation and tapering down aggressively to a 2-button butterfly style clasp. Although the bracelet doesn't offer much by way of micro adjustment, the pin links of the bracelet allow for easy changing, with quick release bars being featured at the back of the lug ends of the bracelet for easy swapping out. So now let's unpack and give some final thoughts to these new PRX digital models, as these are interesting propositions in the market at large, and is not something I anticipated by any means. So starting out, let's talk about some of the cons and then we'll shift into some of the pros. To begin, these watches are going to be prone to smudging given their backdrops as well as that sapphire crystal display. The good news is that it doesn't impact the digital display that you're gonna see at the center, especially when that light is on. It's more of a preference and things that might bother certain people that are sensitive to this type of thing. It's especially true if you're familiar with acrylic type of crystals on digital watches. And like the usual with the PRX, its butterfly style clasp does in turn lack micro adjustment. So for a small portion of wrist sizes, there might be some that have some trouble getting that perfect fit. But now let's discuss the price and positioning of these watches, as this to me serves more as a pro than a con. And yes, I know $375 for a digital watch is not going to be the cheapest one you're going to come across. But for myself, when you're talking about a full metal case bracelet version with a sapphire crystal and being Swiss made, well, in that case, these are actually the most attainable I can think of, which is notable. Now let's think about it. Now most Casio G-Shocks with a metal case have starting prices around these, but typically a little bit higher. And then you have the popular Casio full metal GMB 2100D with starting prices around $550. And for the gold tone version, that's gonna be even higher. And frankly, these have much better bracelets while having a sapphire crystal in the process. Speaking of that sapphire crystal, it is a really nice upgrade to a watch of this styling that should offer increased peace of mind for wearers in resisting scratches. And the module system is rather intuitive and has a strong backlight with 4 years of battery life. So in conclusion, was anybody asking for a digital PRX watch? Probably not. I wasn't, but now that it's here, I don't think we can really be mad about it. And surprisingly, it stacks up way better to the competition than you might immediately think. And I think the final point I'll mention here is you think of the Tissot PRX, it's very 1970s with its case style. The design comes from a 1970 C-Star model. What's another aspect of watchmaking that some people will associate with the 1970s? Digital timekeeping. This is where this started to spur along and really become innovative in a landscape that was changing rapidly. So combining both of those ideas in a single package, to me, makes a ton of sense and surprisingly works very well. But all right, guys, that's my take looking at this new Tissot PRX Digital. It's even weird to say that out loud, PRX and digital in the same sentence, but they pulled it off and it surprisingly works in my opinion. Now, I'd love to see your take down below because this is totally out of left field. I'd like to see other people, what you're thinking. Leave some comments down below. Do you like this release? Do you not like this release? I'd love to see it and have a conversation down there. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We are closing in pretty close to 1 million subscribers, which is an insane number for the watch category. So if you can help us get there, really would appreciate it. I think over like 60% of the people that watch here don't even subscribe to the channel, so would appreciate that. Also check out teddybaldassarre.com, full authorized dealer of 30 brands, including Tissot. We should be getting these watches in at some point in the near future. So if you want to stay in the loop, be sure to head over there and get notified for the launch. Also teddybaldassarre.com, 30 other brands that we are an authorized dealer for, and how we're able to fund all of our production here is through selling watches on our site. It's not through the brands paying us to make any content. How we're able to fund and create all this content is through selling watches. So if you are in the market for a watch, we would absolutely love your support. It allows us to keep doing what we're doing. We love what we do here. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.